Classic FM 91.1, the station that plays every song you know. It's a lovely Friday, 9th day of June 2023. Hope you're doing great. We are glad that you're joining us once again. The narrative, we take a look at the big stories. Most importantly, as it touches us, we look at it from the national level, and most times we prefer coming down to the state level, reflecting on how important travel and tourism has actually become, how certain cities, how regions, countries, and even continents has and is currently becoming, that is for new tourist destinations, a must visit. So we've seen that happen. I think sometime in 2019, we saw Ghana doing the return to motherland or something that they did, and it gave them big money. People were traveling from different parts of the world to come to Ghana. As fact, Ghana has actually said that they are the center of the world. Just in case you don't know, you need to go check that out. So in tourists' bucket list, and if you think about it, and how much economical value or that this has actually brought to host communities, as they capitalize on new culture or on their culture, as they capitalize on the cuisine, value for money, site, topicality, unique experiences. And for some, there are certain places you go to, it is the wow factor, because you look at the place and you say, what a beauty this whole place actually has. Whether you're a professional backpacker or someone who needs a destination getaway, with many destinations across the world to choose from, which, of course, for many can be challenging to narrow down your options. But in narrowing it down, would you narrow it down and put Nigeria in it? Will you narrow it down and put Rivers State in it? Let's scale it down. South region. Or maybe you say, do you know what? Let's do Rivers State. Will it ever come to your mind, if you were a tourist or looking at places to visit, considering the rich cultural values, considering the mind-blowing languages, mouth-watering cuisines? We have one of the biggest exports from Nigeria, from this side of the country, to other parts of Nigeria, called bole and the fish. So there are so many things you could consider when talking about Rivers State, and some hidden beaches. But in all of this, do we know that, just like it said, orange is the new black, that tourism is the new oil? Have we ever thought about it? Anyways, let's get into the conversation, because I just wanted you to understand how big it is when we talk about tourism. Walter Aberepikima, the Wall Street. This neighbor. Walter. Hey, Walter is the founder of Port-Harcourt, and of course, he's also called the Beach Master. Hello, Walter. How are you doing? Well, Walter, please, to the mic. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Alex, thank you. I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right.
Good morning to all of you out there.
Lovely, Walter. Our relationship has gone on for years now. Interestingly, Walter is one of the first persons I came to meet when I came into River State, and I love what you I love your love for tourism and stuff. That's why I did invite you to come over. So welcome, Walter. It's been a long time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Walter is enjoying himself traveling around the world. And of course, joining is a beautiful lady. They were taking pictures some moments ago, and Walter was just in the background. And Walter just fizzled out as if it's one of the background images we have. A pretty beautiful lady. Zuri Wealth. Hello, Zuri. How you doing?
Hi, Alex.
I got that right,
I'm
right?
great, thank you.
Oh, that's good. Zuri, I got it?
Yes.
Oh, Zuri. Zuri is a travel and, of course, a travel consultant. She works with one of the travel and tours agencies. Yeah. So, Zuri, you've traveled to a few countries, maybe, a few locations. Do you have a favorite?
I would always love my country, Nigeria. There's nothing out there that we don't have here.
Zuri, Zuri, talk true.
No, but seriously, Alex, I have been to a couple of countries, yes, but then I realized that the only difference between us and them is the fact that we haven't really realized what we have to maintain it enough. We have even more resources than they have out there. We just need to discover them, realize our worth, and do some more maintenance.
Okay.
Yes, so that the world can come to us.
Walter, sorry, I might know, if I have the opportunity, I wouldn't want to bring this forward, but I guess I might have to bring this forward. You are a Nigerian. You are Riverian, meaning you're from Rivers State.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take away the fact that you are British. You can never wash that away at any point in time. Even if we look at you, we know that we share the same skin and everything. But to some level, we wouldn't. You have the second passport, or you have it somewhere. It means that you just like I've said, you cannot wash away the British part out of it, despite you being a Nigerian born here, and then maybe were you born here or you were born there?
I was born there.
You were born there. Okay, so but you not look like who they born for, do you?
Don't say that.
What's area? What? You were born there or you were born here?
No, I was born there.
You were born there?
Yeah.
Walter, I'm not sure. Okay, anyways, don't mind us, it's the side talk.
All right.
So Walter, he was born there, spent his years there, also spent his years home. As fact, it looks like Walter spends more time here than he actually spends.
My secondary school years.
You said?
My secondary school years.
Okay, you spent your secondary school years
course,
here?
Yeah. Demonstration secondary
school.
Why
did they bring you back home?
Of course, you know why. But anyway, it was just to come learn the culture and get to know our people.
Okay.
And they don't want me to go missing. So, and they did a good job.
And ever since you've been home, I love the fact that you've been home. Now, one of the things that was actually home to us was CARNIRIV. So let's start the talk of tourism from there.
Okay.
CARNIRIV. I never participated in CARNIRIV because I came into Rivers going to 7 years now. So work brought me here. But I have heard of CARNIRIV.
Yeah.
Just like we've heard of the Calabar Festival, is it the Carnival, the Calabar Carnival? Yeah. Quite big it was. CARNIRIV was one other one. But we haven't heard of CARNIRIV anymore. We started hearing of, let's do Carol over CARNIRIV. But Cross River, Akwa Ibom, I think, was doing the Carol. We can never do it better than the people that already, got it big and is doing it. I don't know where that has been, but what are your thoughts? CARNIRIV has not been on for many years now. Let me start with you, Zuri.
Alex, one thing I realized with us Nigerians generally, sorry to say, is that we don't necessarily pay too much attention to maintenance. I feel like one culture we have to imbibe is the culture of consistency. If you know that you're starting something, ensure that you have the budget and you have the strength to actually, go on with it. And that's one thing that has been admirable with the Akwa Ibom State, because they have tried as much as they could to be consistent with whatever they come up with. So it's not just about who brought it first. We have to decide, are we ready to maintain this? What does it take to maintain this? I don't really know, the intricacies, in the background, but I feel like if we want to revive CARNIRIV, we can. We just have to ensure that we can handle and maintain whatever we're starting.
What are your thoughts, Walter, on CARNIRIV, briefly? Or should we, after that, quickly follow up with this question? Should we explore other areas instead of the area of CARNIRIV? Because some persons might just...
We can come from CARNIRIV, at least that should be our starting point. So first of all, we have, we had CARNIRIV and we had Rivifest.
Okay, yes.
So Rivifest was a River State Festival. I think that was set up in 1988. And I think Agri Road in Old Port-Harcourt Township was where that was, I'd say that was the headquarters of CARNIRIV or Carnival. Over time, I think successive governments have played down on it, maybe because of the governor of the day or the government's policy as of that time. Tourism has always been a part of, I'd say we in the Niger Delta, especially the River State man or Old River State, Bayelsa River State put together. We have a rich culture, we have a lot of folk tales. I remember when I was growing up, we had this statue in front of Civic Center. It was a giant and a giant crocodile having a fight. So coming back to today, present time, I think it's more of political than the sense that the people don't want to be involved.
Okay.
So Agri Road till tomorrow still stands as the center of, or the hub for Carnival or CARNIRIV. It's still there. People are ready to come out. It's just if the government is ready to throw in some money at the start, get it rolling, and maybe have the corporate organizations come in and continue it.
Okay, so do you think that they should continue with CARNIRIV, or if that's maybe they should resume CARNIRIV, or maybe they should explore some other areas that would make us unique?
Okay, so whatever the name, for me the name's not the problem, it's the outcome. So yeah, they can continue. The name wouldn't stop it from continuing.
Okay.
The culture is there. The people are there. It's just the willpower of the government of the day.
Willpower.
Yes.
Now, since you're talking about willpower, is there a magic wand that is attached to? Because when you talk about Merlin, you definitely will talk about a magic wand.
Yeah.
So is there, apart from Merlin, what's this guy's name? Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yes. So is there a magic wand that Governor Fubara has to hold and wave here and there, and it happens? What magic do you think he should perform? Anybody could?
There is a magic wand.
Okay.
The magic wand is having the right people in the right place.
When you say having the right people in the right place, we've had people that has been there. We had Commissioner for Culture, Ministry of Culture and Tourism. We've had the DG of the State Tourism Development Agency. I don't know if you're still there. Yubokoko was there, and so we've had these people there. Are you trying to tell me that it's a square peg in a round hole?
Well, not really to dive into if there's a square peg in a round hole, but I think the honest truth, over the years, there's been no peg in no hole.
So where are the holes? Where are the pegs?
There's none. Else we won't be where we are here today. Do you know how much tourism could actually bring to the States? Tourism is greater than oil and gas. We have to look into it. And we must, because we can't continue this way.
Do you think that there is a state in Nigeria exploring tourism?
Sadly. Sadly, there is. And I say sadly because, they don't let us rest. Everyone's going about Lagos. And Lagos is doing it. They're doing it big time.
What are they doing?
Well, you can see the number of beaches that are working. So we have beaches here in River State, but they're not working. Lagos, they have beaches and they're working. You get to the point where you start to have private beaches. And you would agree with me that it generates a lot, direct and indirect. And tourism goes with travel. It goes with accommodation. It goes with food. It goes with culture. You roll those things up into one, and you have a society. So which means the society benefits directly from tourism. So why do we run away from it?
Zuri, you're into travels and tours. Would you say that people would want to travel to River State to participate in anything called tourism or a developed tourist center?
Definitely. I mean, you take a look at the world today, everybody is stressed, basically. Everybody is looking for the next new place to go to explore, the next interesting thing that's happening. I feel like the leadership of River State needs to come to that decision. Personally, I feel the magic wand is the decision. Realizing that, look, this is what we have and we need to explore it. It's just like a beautiful woman not realizing how beautiful she is. And so she walks around with her head bowed. When you realize what you have, you would want to explore it, you would want to develop it, you would want to maintain it, and then you would want to open it up for the world to see. So I feel like the leadership of River State needs to come to that decision and say, okay, you know what, let us explore this oil that we have not explored yet, this tourism, because tourism, like Walter said, is bigger than oil. Because with tourism, you have people coming in to explore these places, these lands, these beaches. You have people coming in to eat our food, to tell the world about our culture. You have people coming in to get accommodation, and before you know it, they would even start thinking of investing and staying back here. So it's something that we really need to explore. We need to make more awareness about it, and we need to revive whatever was dead.
I want to visit River State, but I just can't. You hear of cultism, you hear of this one don't kill this person, this one don't kill another person. There is this ban happening. It looks like a volatile area. Alex, do you think I should visit? And I did tell the person, my hotel, that I wouldn't say that I haven't been attacked here. I was in the year 2020. But have I been attacked every day? No. Maybe I don't live in some of those areas, but it looks like there is a narrative, not this our narrative here, but there is a narrative that goes out there when they talk about River State. And the narrative is about insecurity. Do you think the insecurity stories that is being sold out there about River State is more than it is? Let's be sincere with ourselves. What have you heard?
Okay.
What have you heard from your friends, from people outside here?
For me, it's not even about my friends, because at least I'm on the road. Do you understand? The nature of my business takes me to all corners of the state and beyond. I'll start with this. I think the River State government in the past has not done enough to manage the news and information that goes out of River State. You have a lot of people peddling rumors about things that have happened in River State. For example, I've seen videos of things that happened during the time of militancy, and some of those videos they bring them back fresh and say this happened in River State 2 days ago or 3 days ago. You understand? So sometimes you just feel there's a calculated effort to downplay the potential of River State. But then again, you can't blame the people from outside downplaying us, because we have to lift ourselves up. So the propaganda should come from us and not rely on people from outside.
Okay, that will bring me to this. We have entertainers rising from River State. As fact, one of the biggest currently is Burna Boy.
Yes.
He's from here.
Yeah.
We've had he was even celebrated here by the former governor.
Yes.
We have an array of these persons. As fact, even if we don't want to travel back and we talk about, what do they call it? We talk about music. Let's travel way back. You talk about Rex Jim Lawson.
Yeah.
If we just want to come recently, Asaba Wood of the Nollywood is big. But we could remember Sam Dede. Yeah. He's from here. So we have these people. There is Hilda, there is Tonto, there is a lot of them. So it looks like there are entertainers here, but other states are enjoying the fruits of our labor. How do we retrace our steps at the moment? Because do you think that there is a role these entertainers can actually play to sell River State in the right light?
Okay.
Let me ask Zuri.
Definitely, as I believe that as a public face, you are meant to be an ambassador to your country, to your state, to your family. So as an entertainer, if you know where you're from, your duty, I feel, to your state and to your country is to ensure that you project your state and your country in the right light. So I feel that their role, they have a very big role to play, because everybody sees you, everybody knows your face, people know your face, and so they would listen to you. They would listen more to you. As an entertainer, you're a leader in some certain way, especially with the with the development of social media and the rise of a lot of social media platforms. So I feel that as an entertainer, it is your duty to let people know that it is not as bad as it seems, because I know social media has a way of exaggerating things, especially when it comes
to travel from wherever I am to River State, because I want to come and explore the centers that they do have. Will it be worth my money? Zuri, you know how much it costs to book a flight. You know how much accommodation costs. It doesn't come cheap to eat. To spend one more night, it doesn't come cheap. I should be spending one more night somewhere else. Do you think that someone someday would consider doing that and saying, do you know what, I want to come to River State and relax a bit?
River State has a lot of a very rich culture. It has diverse ways that you can exploit traditions as well. I feel like if a tourist is interested in learning more about the cultures of Africa, one place to really come to is Nigeria, and one place to really come to is River State, because we have a whole, like, the first time I came to PH, I was shocked, because I thought maybe it was just like 2 local governments or something. But by the time I started learning about the rich culture of rivers, the food that we have, especially bole, I mean, I have come to love bole so much, and no state prepares bole like River State, to be very honest. Like, there are so many things to learn about River State. It is worth it, because even on your first visit, you wouldn't exhaust it. You wouldn't exhaust the culture that we have, the rich cultures that we have, the festivals that we have. I mean, what's the name of that local government we went to? Andoni, right? Yeah. They have a festival every December. As in, there are so many. So it's definitely worth it. If you want to have a good time, it is definitely worth it.
Do you think, Walter, that the government has actually invested enough in other local governments? Because I heard Zuri talk. She said, when I came into Port-Harcourt, if you ask certain other persons, they would say, when I came into Port-Harcourt. They are not saying, when I came into River State. Or say, oh, do you know what, when I came into Eche, when I came into Andoni, when I came into Ahoda, so they would always say, when I came into Port-Harcourt. Interestingly, Port-Harcourt is Falga, but has been expanded to Obiakpo maybe, yes. So that is the Port-Harcourt we know. And to a little extent, a bit part of Ikwere local government area, since it's, closer to this. So, but we just say when we came into Port-Harcourt. Walter, don't you think this is one of the reasons people haven't actually explored other locations, across the state?
Okay, for me, I don't think people saying I came into Port-Harcourt. I think it's more of what's happening outside Port-Harcourt. You can be inside Port-Harcourt and things happening outside, you definitely go. So I think everything's centered inside Port-Harcourt, and that's why it's that way.
When you say centered?
Well, most of the things there. So let's talk about tourism with the little we have. Although to me it's nothing, but we have the Port-Harcourt Zoo. So Alex is smiling. We have the Port-Harcourt Zoo. That's in Port-Harcourt. We have the Port-Harcourt Pleasure Park. That's in Port-Harcourt. We have the National Museum. That's in Port-Harcourt. So what do we have outside Port-Harcourt? Although I could answer that question, because I just recently came back from Bonny, Finima, where we have a nature park built by the LNG, and that's been in existence since 1999, and we never knew over 20-something years ago what we have here in Bonny. It could be compared, and it could contest with any nature park in the world. It's that good, it's that great. The beach is just behind it, and the beach down there is wonderful. It's lovely. Have pictures. Hopefully, I think if you could put them up on your Facebook hub or something, and then let people see what we have. So what we do is, or what I do, my bit, what I'm trying to do is to bring awareness and attention to these waterfronts and these tourist sites. Some of them are potential. Some of them, like we went Andoni when did we go to Andoni? We've been there like 3 times. The last time we went there was in April.
Andoni, where the elephants are.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So we have endangered species. It's the African rainforest elephant. And we can go on and on. We have monkeys, anacondas, everything. We have giant turtles that come to lay their eggs on the beaches in Andoni. So so it's about the government trying to push people away from Port-Harcourt positively.
Okay.
So I think people saying I just came into Port-Harcourt is not the problem. The problem is, awareness of what's happening outside Port-Harcourt.
Okay, I have a digital person. You wouldn't know him as behind the mic, behind the camera rather. I would have wanted to ask him what other locations he knows away from Port-Harcourt. He's from here,
okay,
and how much he has explored. But I'll leave that so that I don't disgrace him. Are you laughing? You wouldn't. He's smiling, but you wouldn't know. What would you say is the major challenge that is being faced in Rivers State in terms of exploring tourism? Because you've said putting the right people there? Is the right people just the only challenge? Because I know funds might be a challenge also. If you look at funds, these days we talk about PPP, public-private partnership. Are they going to be sponsors? Will there be support? These areas, funds. So it's not just about the people. Can we get people that would invest, right? Zuri, do you think we can?
Motivational speakers would say, where there's a will, there's a way, right? I think it starts with the right people. When the right people are in place, they would come together and decide how to raise the funds. Personally, I don't think funds are the issues. I feel like there are people who are ready to invest, but one thing that they're concerned about is, are we ready to actually maintain it, like I always say? And the second thing is security. As long as the funds are available and as long as security is intact, and we can assure the foreign investors and the private investors that their funds are secure, their investments are secure, they would definitely come to invest.
Walter, do you think that we can ever have investors?
When it comes to investors, you have two kinds of investors. You have the investors who are local, and you have the investors who are coming from outside. Let's start with the ones that are coming from outside. The number one problem would be security. And as you know, I'm always back and forth to the UK and here. I have investors, I have people that are willing, that are ready. But when they check reports on the Niger Delta and River States, the reports are not really that good. Sometimes we have to bring them down. The last time I was in Andoni local government, I went with one of my British friends who is white, and he had a good time. And obviously he will go back and let them know it's not, as bad as it looks or as bad as it seems. So security is a big issue. Coming back to the locals, when we talk about investors, we always feel it has to be 10 billion, 20 billion. You could even start small as even building huts on some of these beaches, and we start, like that gradually. But there should be a plan. So you could say, okay, I'm going to give myself a 3-year plan. We'll start with the huts. These are things we could do. Let's see if we could get just people that come, coconuts. You break your coconuts, you sell, fishermen come, they grill fish, but there's a plan, where you're getting to. Foreign investors could come in and they look at this and see the potential and say, okay, let's take this to the next level. We have, if you go to Lagos, sometimes you see beach resorts side by side. They have different names, but same stretch of beach. And it happens around the world. You go to California, it's the same thing as well. So it's not just one investor. So you have loads of investors coming in, doing different things. And don't forget, when you have the resorts, you have the knock-on effects. You have people that own, for example, maybe jet skis. So that could just be an investment for one person. I could have the jet skis. Someone could, you could even do what they do these days. You could even build a hotel. Real estate property developers can come in, build a hotel, 100 rooms, and sell each individual room. So you don't need 10 billion. Do you understand me? So the point is, having the right people obviously will bring about the security. For me, security is not a big issue. If you want the place secured as a government, you would have it.